When living in a big city like Lethbridge, oftentimes we don't know our neighbors. That's not the case for the 6th Avenue Ayers. The group of neighbors were so appreciative for all the work that their neighbor Ben Kempenaar does for them that they organized an event to recognize his kindness.
We're here today to celebrate Neighbor Day, which was last week, but we heard that the city was providing some grants for people to get together, and it was a perfect opportunity for us to do that in our crescent. So we're 32nd to 33rd Street, 6th Avenue to 6th Avenue A. So a little crescent that, you know, in the past we hadn't necessarily all known each other, but we had somebody really special in our area that we started talking about how can we thank this fellow, and it just coincided with the Neighbor Day initiative. We have a neighbor, Ben Kempenaar, who is one of those neighbors that everyone should aspire to. He just is in our neighborhood looking after things. He snow blows everybody's sidewalk. It doesn't matter how cold it is. He shovels. He'll mow grass if somebody's having problems. He knows when somebody in the neighborhood is needing support, so he takes people to doctor's appointments and has brought people home from the hospital, and just a great guy, you know, and never wants any fuss or anything, but we thought, well, how can we thank him adequately?
Neighbors of Kempenaar shared their stories of how he has helped them in many ways.
Ben has been a fabulous neighbor. When I first moved here, I discovered in the wintertime that the sidewalks on both sides of our crescent were suddenly cleared early in the morning, and I couldn't figure out who was doing it. Finally, I realized it was Ben, and I talked to his wife and I said, he doesn't have to do that. She said, he loves to be outside all the time with his toys, and he has a snowblower, so he was quite happy to do that, and he's been doing it for years. I've been here about 30 years and he's been doing it all that time. And I had a little grandson who was visiting me. He was only about 2 or 3. And Ben said, oh, I've got a little trike that he can ride around when he's here. So he had a great time in my backyard riding this little tricycle around. And also when Ben got to know me a bit, he just said, would you mind if I came in your backyard sometime with the snowblower? And I said, no. Well, he doesn't come with the snowblower, he comes with a shovel. And he shovels, because I don't have an attached garage, it's detached, from my back door to my garage. And then he'll make a little path through the snow on the side of the garage to the back of the garage, and then he'll clear out the back of the garage area where my car would go so I wouldn't get stuck.
One of the things is that when we first moved in, and I've been there at my residence over 10 years ago, we had we were running a restaurant at that time. We opened a new restaurant, so it was just mayhem. It was 24/7, and we had just moved from our old place, and we moved there, and at our old location, I had an old gas mower, and I just said, you know, my neighbor used to borrow it, and I says, you know, when we were ready to move, I gave it to him. I says, because it leaked and it was really stinky, and I says, if I get a new mower, I'm going to get electric, so I'll go electric. So that's what I did. And then it was about 2 weeks in, it was in June when we moved in, and 2 weeks in, I hadn't gone around to get another mower, and because of time constraints with being busy at the restaurant. So all of a sudden one day I get a phone call, and it was our son who was home. He's in Calgary now, but he was home at that time. And he said, hey, did you hire a lawn service to cut our grass? And I says, no, why? He says, well, there's a gentleman out front cutting our grass. And I says, oh, well, maybe they mistaken our address or something, and it is a lawn service, right? And they saw our lawn and said, hey, maybe that's the place. So I told my son to run out there and give him the phone. So he gave him the phone, and it happened to be Ben. And that was my first encounter with Ben. And Ben says, oh, no, I'm just your neighbor, and I was across the street, and I know you guys are busy with your restaurant and everything, so I decided I had some time, so I come and cut it. And I thought, wow, what a guy.
Not one to love the spotlight, Kempenaar himself was shocked by the recognition.
I was really surprised. This was unexpected. I did not realize this. I love being outside and helping my neighbors, and that was the biggest thing. I love being outside. I didn't realize I had such an impact on my neighbors, but yes, it is nice to have that impact, yes. This is, it's speechless. I don't know what to say, how nice it is. Yes, I did not expect this at all. So, a couple of years ago, we had new neighbors move across the street from me, lived on the west side for 4 or 5, 6 years. didn't know the neighbors, and then when they moved in, I walked across the street and introduced myself, and the neighbors on both sides introduced themselves, so within a week they knew more people here than they did on the west side.
For Community Producers, I'm Fallon Wagner.